I'm just starting the server. Today, mostly we should have all the installations completed and we should start the build. I'll open the GitHub also. This is the project, right? Eight zero 8080. And this is the username password. App admin. Yesterday we created, right? App admin. Next is secret 123. Okay. So first of all, after we have set all this global configuration, security configuration we have done. Now we will see global security. Yeah, this also is done. Now we'll create the actual pipeline. That is new item. Okay, I think we'll wait for a few people to join. In 2 minutes, I think they're still joining. Just 2 minutes, we'll wait and then see. Yesterday we were not having this one, right? When I click on new item, see now I got this Maven project. Yesterday it was not there. Yesterday it was not there. Now it is there because we installed that plugin. Just 2 minutes. We'll wait for a few people to join. Otherwise, we'll start. We'll continue. All right, then I think we'll start. Okay. First, create a Maven project. Enter an item name like e-commerce app, e-commerce service build. This is my name. Okay. E-commerce application is my name. Select now Maven project. Okay. Maven build. Okay, now we'll give some description here. Select Maven project. Next description. This is an e-commerce based project for Maven build. GitHub project. So you have to give the GitHub URL. So just give the GitHub URL. Okay. For example, here how you have given. Just go here, copy paste this. This is the GitHub URL. Why it is gone? GitHub URL. Give this GitHub URL. Next is credentials. One minute, I use this. Let me go to this dashboard. I have to select 1 minute. Leave. Let me open again. New item. Maven project. Let me take e-commerce build one. E-commerce build one. Let me try it again. This is I'm starting from e-commerce build. This is e-commerce service. Okay, I'm giving the GitHub project URL. Next is source. So GitHub. Well, let me give this. This is a GitHub project. Give here, I think two things here. You Git repository. Project URL is you can give anything. I mean e-commerce, but enter the repo URL in source code menu, select option, Git. Okay. See, project URL you can give anything. I mean you can give, but GitHub URL should be important. Okay. Here you have to give the repository URL. Credentials should be none. Okay, it is a public URL. And branches to build. What branches? Main branch. It is a main branch. Put here main branch. Then that's all. Next, select the build triggers. Build triggers. You can just say poll SEM for how many intervals? Poll SEM. See, if you have doubt, you can refer this schedule. If you see here, minute, hour, date of month. So as I told you, Jenkins will connect to GitHub periodically and will check for the latest code and pull the latest code. So this is like a cron schedule. You can put like, see, for example, if I put like *3, for example, *3 will run on the 1st, 4th, and 31st days of a long month. Okay. Suppose if you put, okay, like that. For example, this H **. H means a particular hour actually. Okay. Star specifies all values. M in specific is a range of values. M means minute. Okay. Now, for example, let me see here. You have an example. You see, H/15 session. Every 15 minutes you are scheduling. Okay. Every 10 H029 10 means every 10 minutes. Okay. Every 10 minutes in the first half of every hour. Actually, in the first half of every hour, like uh, 3 times in the first half of every hour. Every 10 minutes. Actually, you can say every 10 minutes in the first half of every hour. So that means, for example, in the first half of every hour means, say, for example, from 9 to 10, if you're taking between 9 to 9:30, it will schedule at 9, 9:10, 9:20, like that. Okay. So this will be for every 15 minutes. So H indicates hour for in an hour for every 15 minutes. So let me schedule this for every 5 minutes, or let me put for 3 minutes. Let me put this. So here I have put for 5 minutes. Okay, let me put for 3 minutes. What I'll do is here, schedule H. Instead of 15 minutes, I'll say every 3 minutes. Okay, let us take for this. Just for generally in real time, you'll give for every 1 day, like that, because you'll check for every 1 day. Okay, and then these are the regions. These are the supporting time zones. Okay, where you have to select, but right. Next, this is a pom.xml. In that pom.xml, you have to give, where is in your GitHub, where is your pom.xml? In the e-commerce project, right? One minute. Just 1 minute. Here I have given in this example my Spring Boot repo. My example. Okay. So here I will give, this is e-commerce project. Okay, pom.xml is here. Pom.xml is here. So this is the root pom.xml, right? See, when I open the GitHub, the pom.xml is present in this repository, directly under this repository. Okay. Now, then you have to tell clean. What is a Maven install? Maven has to do clean and package. Okay. That's all. So what are the steps I have given? Maven goal for clean and package, packaging that as a jar, the root pom.xml present in this GitHub repository, and then the interval, and then the time interval, and then the time interval where your GitHub will connect, so where your Jenkins will connect to the GitHub and pull the code from the GitHub repository. And this is the main branch because I committed the code to this main branch. Okay. And this is the GitHub URL. And since it is a public URL, there are no credentials. That's all. I don't need this one, anything, just description. Okay, that's all. Now click on save. Right. So wait for 3 minutes. So just wait 3 minutes. So we have scheduled for 3 minutes. Right? So 3 minutes, Jenkins will connect and Even if I click on build new also, it is giving a message build is scheduled. So if the build is scheduled, you cannot trigger directly manually the build actually. Okay, now you see last build. It has success. Okay, last build 24 seconds ago. Let me open this. So it is in progress. So it started. The build started. Now you see the build started. You can see the console output. See, it is downloading all the repositories. It is taking the build. Okay, see. The build started, you see. First, it is downloading all that. So where is it is downloading? In this machine, right? In this machine, the build is getting triggered because Jenkins is present here, right? Let me open that machine. First, let the build complete. I'll show you. Yeah, finally got succeeded. See, finish succeeded, build succeeded. Now, where is the jar? It will be in this. Okay, it will be in this. So shall we log in and see the jar has been there? Okay. Okay, so what I'll do, CD. Jar has been put here. Now you see, I have the jar. So I got the jar. So that means this part. So we have committed the code to GitHub. So Jenkins is for every 3 minutes, we have configured interval of 3 minutes. For every 3 minutes, it will connect to the GitHub and get the code and do the Maven build and create a jar file. See, this is done. See, for every 3 minutes, it will be done. Now, if I open, I think you might have started a new build also because 3 minutes is over, right? See, you are seeing so many builds. So, okay. So, general real time will not have 3 minutes. To show you, I have done. Let me change this. Let me configure. Let me change this to some for every 60 minutes. Or for now 30 minutes, okay? Click on save. Fine. Now it will run for 30 minutes. But what we have to do is in the meanwhile, currently this is running in port 8080. Okay, we cannot run directly this because Jenkins is already running in port 8080. So we have to change our application to 8085. So e-commerce application, source, main, resources, application.properties, server.port 8085. Let me run this. First of all, why the port is not coming 1 minute? Because we cannot, because it is running in default 8080. Already Jenkins is running, default port of Jenkins is 8080. So let me run this once again. Okay, now it is running in 8085. Good. I think yesterday not, so now it is taking the port. So that means if I open localhost 8085 / data1. Okay, I got the data1. Okay, data. So what I'll do is I'll commit this code actually now. I will commit this one. e-commerce project, right? Let me, okay, I'll commit this, I'll change this part. So I'll copy this one. Okay, already it is running in 8085, but yeah, already it is there, right? Yeah, already 8084. Okay. Okay, if I just I'll run this, what will happen? Java -jar. Okay. Okay, we don't have that Spring Boot Maven plugin, sorry. So that should be there. In my pom.xml, I have to put Spring Boot. Let me do plugin. Okay, this one I'll. Okay, pom.xml. So this is my e-commerce application. Okay. So Control C. I'll copy in the this one source main. Sorry. Yeah, I'll copy here. Okay. So now pom.xml is copied. Now, fine. So I'll commit this in the GitHub now. E-commerce project. Now see, I'm seeing this change pom.xml. What change I have done? I've added this plugin. Okay, this plugin. Otherwise, you will not run as a jar. Okay, commit. You cannot run as a jar if you don't add the plugin. Added Maven plugin. That's all. I'll push it. Now see in the GitHub, that change is there. See that plugin is there. Whatever I added, that plugin is there. Okay, but what I'll do is now, okay, now I have configured for every 30 minutes. You will not see the build, only 4 builds you'll see. But we'll do one simple thing. What I'll do is, the jar has been built. Okay, Jenkins, what Jenkins has done till now. So if I open this part, I committed the code to GitHub from my machine. From my machine, I committed the code to GitHub. Okay, code commit. And Jenkins is connecting for every interval, whatever the interval we specify, 15 minutes or 3 minutes or 30 minutes. It will connect to GitHub, pull the code to Jenkins machine, and do the build. Okay. Copy the code from GitHub. Next, do the Maven build. And when the Maven build is there, jar is created as part of the Maven build. Now we'll do one more step. Once a jar is created, what we'll do is we'll write commands in Jenkins to copy this jar to a folder path and execute this jar. Okay, we'll tell to Jenkins. Okay, so we'll tell to Jenkins. So jar is created. Now next, copy this jar to a folder path and execute this jar. Okay, let's do that. So for that, what we will do is now go to this Jenkins configuration. Here, this is e-commerce build one. Let us create one more build better, so that this will be pulling for 30 minutes, right? So let me create one new item. Next, e-commerce build 2. Let me take like this, and I'll create a Maven project. Okay, and I'll say build 2 of e-commerce project. And then I'll give the GitHub URL. What is the GitHub URL? Okay, credentials none. This is main. Branch is main branch. And then poll SCM. Schedule is okay. I'll put schedule as now this I'll put 3 minutes. Okay, so that next what I'll do is poll SCM means SCM means source code management. Here, what is your source code management? GitHub. Poll means connecting to the GitHub for this interval for every 3 minutes, and then pulling the code, copying the code from that source code management to the GitHub repository, to the Jenkins server. That's what here as I was telling, right? It will connect to the GitHub and pull the code. It will connect to the GitHub and pull the code to the Jenkins server. Okay, so so I specified, right? In the earlier build I have done till here. Okay. Now we'll do one more step here. What we will do is, yeah, here I'll say clean and package, right? Clean package, right? Clean package. Then what I'll do is run only if build succeeds. Now create add build step. And in that I will execute a shell command here. And here I'll write a shell command. Okay. See, once this build is step, I'll create a post step. That means after jar has been generated. What is a post step means? After jar has been generated, after Maven has triggered the build. Then what steps you have to do? You have to do these steps. After jar is built, you have to copy this jar to see. Jenkins will be generating the file in its own path actually. See, this is the own path of Jenkins. But we don't want in this path this jar to be copied in our home directory and execute that jar. And how will execute? Java-jar, right? So I'll write a shell command for that. So what I'll do is here, I'll write a shell command. So what I'll do is I'll say like this: bin /bin/bash. Okay. Then I'll say cp. Okay, this is the one where Jenkins will take the build. No, e-commerce build to, right? Ours is e-commerce build to. E-commerce build to. Okay. So you copy this code to e-commerce build to. I mean, copy the code from e-commerce build. See, this is the path where Jenkins will generate the jar. CP means copy command, space. I'll copy this in my home directory. What is your home directory? So this is my home directory. In my home directory, I'll copy this jar. And what is the jar I'll copy here? Slash. The name of the jar will be this one. This is the final name of the jar, right? So this is the name of the jar. E-commerce application dot jar. And here I'll say home Ubuntu dot. Fine. So then what I'll do is Java hyphen. So once I go here, then I'll say Java hyphen jar slash home slash Ubuntu. I'll run this jar. That's what I'm doing. So first the jar has, after this is the post steps. Post steps means after the jar has been built. So this jar will be available by default in this path. So e-commerce build is the name of your build. This one. This one. You see my mouse cursor. Above slash target slash this e-commerce application dot jar. And this is your home directory. I'm copying this, the jar, and then running this jar from here. So let me do is what will happen. Let me click on save. For every 3 minutes, it will. Lost build. I think build got failed. Why? Okay, unable to. Okay. Jar got generated, but while copying the command, CP command, copy command failed. Permission denied. What we have to do? We have to go to the configure. We have to give the root permissions. Sudo. Next is sudo. Click on save. This is build number 1. Now we'll get build number 2. For every build, Jenkins will generate a build. For every 3 minutes, it will connect to the code and see if you see this build number 1. Build number 1. Might be we'll get build number 2. Okay, for 3 minutes, it will connect. Still, it is in build number 1. Build number 2 did not get generated. So we'll see. So here, what have I given? So sudo means root permission. CP to this one, sudo java jar. Let us see. No. Build number 2 has not. Still build number 2 should come. Why the second build is not coming? We have polled for every 3 minutes, right? Let us see. For every 3 minutes, it should pull. Okay, I think there is no, okay, there is no latest change, right? So that's why, okay. There is no latest change, okay? So that's why it is not taking, okay? Let me, there is no latest change. So that's why it is not taking. The GitHub, I did not commit latest change. So that's why the build is not triggered. Only when a new change has been added to this GitHub, it will poll. Okay, I did not commit it, right? So, okay, what I will do is, no problem. I'll create one more new item. I'll create e-commerce build 3. Okay. Next is Maven project. First, let me copy this actually. Because I did not commit latest build, right? I did not committed in the GitHub the latest code. Only. So now we'll have GitHub build 3. So now let me create one more new item. E-commerce build 3. Maven project, okay. E-commerce build 3. I shall say GitHub repository. So this is the GitHub URL. This is the main branch. No, see, scheduling means Jenkins will go to the GitHub on every interval for every 3 minutes or 4 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever the interval. It will see whether any latest code has been committed. Only when latest code has been committed, only it will run the build. Otherwise, it will not run the build. That is what. Only if any new change has been happened in the GitHub repository of that particular branch, then only new build will happen. Otherwise, it will not run the build. But for every interval, it will connect to that GitHub and see the latest change. Okay, this is my main branch. And poll SCM. I'll put this one. This is the 3 minutes interval. This is the main branch. Next is clean package. Run only build succeeds. Okay, add post build step, execute shell. Now I'll copy, not this one. I'll copy this e-commerce build 3. Okay, this one. Okay, this name I'll give. Fine. Click on save. Now 3 minutes, it will start now. Okay. So still the build one has not been triggered because 3 minutes, right? It will take. Okay, now you see last build one. Now again this got failed. Why? Why, man? Okay. Let me do one thing. Let me do one thing. Here itself, I'll give the permission better. chmod 77 home cd home chmod ubuntu. Okay. Sorry. chmod 777 ubuntu. Okay. Now if I take this ls minus lrt, you got all the permissions. I think. Okay, I'll create another build. Okay, sorry for that. I'll create another thing. I'll give this as 4. I think this also got failed. So I'll give only there is permission issue. Now I have given the full permission now to Jenkins. So what I'll do is I'll create one more new item, e-commerce build 4. Okay. E-commerce build 4, GitHub, repository URL, main branch, next poll SCM, next schedule, I'll give this not this one, sorry. I'll copy this. I'll change to 3 minutes. I think now I've given the full permission. Now clean package. Next only build succeeds. Execute shell. Control C. Now I don't need sudo here. Okay. Now I'll click on save. I think I can give email notification also. Okay. unstable build or this one, I think not required. Let me click on save. No, e-commerce build 4. Okay. Did I change this? Sorry. Oh, 4, 5. Okay. Let us wait for 3 minutes. Given every full permission. So to give the full permission, you should use chmod 777. Okay, that means changing the permissions of the particular folder. So which will have all the rights. So what will happen is, see, this is your login. So, but what will happen? Jenkins is trying to copy from its folder to the Ubuntu folder, your home directory. So your home directory is your permission. So Jenkins doesn't have that permission to write that jar from its path to the home directory. So that's why it is failing the right permission. So that's why I've given the full permission to so that Jenkins can copy directly to this. I'll once this is complete, I'll explain overall complete from starting to ending. Okay. Once this build is completed, okay, let us see. Yeah, I think now it is succeeded. Let me open. Yeah, you see, app got succeeded and you got the Spring Boot application started also. Where in 8085. Now I have to open the security group now. What I'll do, I have to open this port. Go to your security group. I'll add the inbound rules. I will add here add rule. Next I'll say 8085. I'll allow for all 8085 save rules. Now what will happen now? I'll just access this. Shall I access this? 8085. So what is okay? What is our URL path I have given? /data1, right? Now see, I got the response. Okay, what I did is, I'll tell you from starting. I know we have spent some long time for installations, installing the Jenkins. Okay, so I created first, created EC2 instance, and then installed Jenkins. And how I installed this in the Word document already. I'll share you that document. This document. Okay. Then what I did, then added Maven Git plugins to Jenkins. This has taken some time, yesterday and day before us. And then configured global global environment variables. Okay. Then once this is configured, added Maven Jenkins, then okay, once installed Jenkins, second step, logged into Jenkins. Okay, using the port 8080 and IP address of EC2 instance. Then what I did, then by default, Jenkins will have one password, one administrator password, and also it will tell that in which path that password is there. So admin password, it will give the location of the file where password is present. So we'll go to that file, copy that password, go to the file and copy the password and log in as admin. And Jenkins will give option to change the password after login. So now you can change the password after login. Option to add user and password, new user and password, because you logged in with admin. So, but you can add a new user also after login. So what I did, I remember I added this user ID, app admin and password. Okay, then so once you add the user and password, now log into Jenkins with that user and password. Log into Jenkins with user and password. Okay, and then once you log in, then add Maven Git plugins to Jenkins. Okay, then configure global environment variables. And what we do in global environment variables, we configure the JDK installation, just like how you set environment variables in your local system. Here to Jenkins, you have to give the JDK path, like JDK path. Okay, because the Jenkins is running in the Ubuntu machine, right? In VM, you have to give that JDK path. Next, Git path. Next, Maven path. Git path means we'll say Maven home actually. Maven home. That is where the Maven installed path. Home. That is Git installed path. Maven home. That is Maven installed path. Okay. All that. Next is configure global security. So what will happen in global security? So you will enable the proxy compatibility. Okay, otherwise Jenkins will throw an error. Enable proxy compatibility. Okay, next. So once it is done, once it is configured, create a new item and go to and click on and give the Maven and give as Maven project. And then what we do? Then we add the Git repo URL. Add Git repo URL. Okay, next branch where Jenkins has to connect to pull the code. Next is once we have done that, then we'll configure the triggers. Triggers like poll SCM. Poll SCM is like poll source code management. That is poll GitHub. Here source code management is GitHub, right? So how it will connect? It will connect to the GitHub URL, repo URL specified in the above point. Okay. Then configure triggers, whole SCM, and the interval for what frequency of interval to connect. Okay. Then what Jenkins will do, and then yeah, after that, what you have to do, you have to give the pom.xml also. Give the pom.xml location in the GitHub repository, root location in GitHub repo. That means, say, if you see here, pom.xml is present in my earlier. This is the document I prepared before this class. So their pom.xml is present in this my example folder. But here, if you see in this example, the pom.xml is present in this root only. This is your repository. Under this repository, the pom.xml is present. So that's why if you see here, if I go here, configure, my pom.xml is present in the root. So that's why directly I did not put under any folder. Okay, then GitHub repo and give the pom.xml location in GitHub repo and give Maven goal. What is Maven goal? Clean package, right? That means what Maven has to do? It will what is a Maven goal? Maven goal is nothing but the instruction that we specify to Maven, the task that Maven does. Like here, what is the goal? It will clean the old project and package the code into jar file. So package the code into jar file. Okay, that is one. Fine. Then once you do this, click on save. Okay, this is one. Now, what actually now Jenkins will do? Okay. I think this step is missing. First step. Create EC2 instance, Ubuntu, and create EC2 instance, Ubuntu, and install Jenkins. Okay, install Jenkins, JD, first JDK 11. Let's change it. Okay, fine. Now I have 14 points now. Somehow we know that we have spent time in this one, Maven Git plugins. So here time has been taken. Fine. Now, what we have done now, in my machine, I have written the code. I have written a simple Spring Boot code and committed that to GitHub. Committed the code to GitHub or pushed the code to GitHub. Pushed the code to GitHub. Now, which there will be repository in GitHub, right? So to some repository. So the repository of the GitHub is e-commerce project and branch is main branch. Okay. So that's what we got. Now, in my EC2 machine, I installed the Jenkins. This is my EC2 machine. This is in where I installed the Jenkins. And EC2 is your virtual machine, Ubuntu. And I installed all these Git plugins and everything. I configured the new item Maven project, everything. In that, I specified the URL of the GitHub and e-commerce. And now what Jenkins will do at a particular interval, say if I specify 5 minutes or 10 minutes, for every 5 minutes or 10 minutes, It will connect to the GitHub. And how it will connect? Using these plugins. Using these plugins, it will connect, because this is in a network and this is also in a network. So it will connect with the URL that we specify. Here we specify Git repo URL, right? So here we specify Git repo URL that will, using that Git repo URL, will connect to GitHub. Okay. And it will connect to the this repository and main branch. Okay. We have specified everything, repository, branch, and everything. Next, it will pull the code. It will pull the code. Then what we have specified? We have specified Maven project, and we have given the pom.xml location. Using the Maven plugins, it will do the build actually. Okay. So it will connect to the GitHub. Connect to GitHub. For the interval specified. Say every 2 minutes or whatever. Okay, example every 1 hour or something like that. Okay, pull the latest commit. Only if changes are there, it will pull, copy the code. Otherwise, it will not pull the latest changes from the GitHub, because the developer will be committing the changes to the GitHub, right? Pull the changes. Okay, then once the code is built using the Maven plugin, Jenkins will execute the goal. Will execute the Maven goal specified. What Maven goal we specified? So this is the one, right? This is the Maven goal, clean and package. So it means it will take the build. How you do the Maven clean in your machine? Now Jenkins will do for you. And that means it will package. It will package to the jar file. It will package to the jar file. And where the jar file will be present? In the default directory of Jenkins, in this directory. Where this directory. So Jenkins will, and here it will be, you'll be having the name of the build actually. Dynamically it will come. Name of the project. So you are creating a Maven project in Jenkins, right? Name of the project. So that means what is the name of the project? You'll click on this Maven project. You'll use some name, right? Whenever you click on new item, Maven project, use some name, right? That is your name of the project. So Jenkins will package that jar into this part. Okay, this is the first step we have done. In the second step, what we have done is, now again go to this Maven. Now again go to this Maven project in Jenkins. Now edit the configuration of Maven project in Jenkins. That is this part. So what we have done? So again go here. We added one step here. After clean package, we added one step called post step and selected this option, run only if build succeeds. Okay. And added a post step. And selected option, run only build succeeds. And why we selected this option? Because build should be success. Jar should be generated to execute this step. Otherwise, we cannot run the jar. So edit the configuration Maven Jenkins and added Jenkins, added post step and selected added post step and selected run only if build succeeds. Okay. Then after that, what we have done, we have executed a step, execute shell. And what we do here, we write the shell commands. So whatever we do, the Unix shell commands, right? We write the shell commands like this. And what I have done here is in the shell commands, I want to copy this jar generated in this folder location. Okay. I want to copy the jar located from this location to my home directory. See, this is your Jenkins path. Okay. And I want to copy to my home directory into the EC2 instance. I mean, this Jenkins also is installed in the same EC2 instance. So I want to copy from this path to my home instance. So for that, first Jenkins should have the right permission to write to my home instance, because my home instance is my user ID. So for that, I will give full permission to the Jenkins to write to that path. So what I do is, this is my home path. So in the shell command, I do like this. So this is your EC2 machine. And then here Jenkins path. Where is your Jenkins path? I mean, Jenkins has written the jar generated right after installing the Maven goal here. Okay. So this is the Jenkins path, right? So from here, I have to copy the jar to /home/Ubuntu. This is my home directory. Okay, for that I have to give the permission to this folder, full permission, right permission, so that Jenkins can copy. So I'll give full permission to this folder. So using chmod, okay, I'll give write permissions. Okay, write, read, and write. So I'll specify in the shell command like this, cp command. I don't need sudo. I'll copy this like this. Then once the jar has been copied using cp command, then what I'll do? Then I'll have to execute the jar, java-jar, and the name of the jar. So I'll write these both commands in the post step. I'll write like this in the post step and click on save. Now what Jenkins will do after jar is built, it will execute these commands and it will run the jar. So if you see the console output here, go to the build. If you see the console output, see jar has been and Spring Boot application got started. Now, if I open the IP address of this, you will get the response of it. So that means what Jenkins is doing for you, you are committing the code to GitHub, that's all, and you are relaxing. You just develop the code from your local machine and push the code to GitHub, and Jenkins will do everything for you. So till the running of the application. See, now in a simple command, I have given like this. I have given copy command, but you can do anything in this shell command. Even once the jar has been generated in this path, right? Suppose you can do like this also. Say my Jenkins is installed in one machine. Okay, Jenkins is installed in say in machine 1. Okay, EC2 1. EC2 instance 1. Okay, my Jenkins is installed here and it has generated a jar file here. Okay, now here in this example, I copied this jar to in the same machine to another path in home directory. But you know, you can, this is a cp command, you're using a cp command. But instead of that, you can copy this jar to some other machine also. You can copy the jar to some other machine where your application server is running. Okay, another instance, another virtual machine where your Tomcat server or application server is running. Okay, so you can copy that jar to here. At the time, you will not use CP command. Okay, you will use some SFTP file transfer command. Okay, SFTP command to copy the jar from this machine, from Jenkins machine to the remote machine. Okay, SFTP or SCP, okay, anything, okay, that file transfer protocol. So like that, you can add anything in this shell script. You can add anything in the shell script. This one. You can add anything in the shell script. Because shell script is also a program, right? You can do anything here. So that is what actually we are doing. Just commit the code to GitHub. Jenkins will take care of everything once you have all the configurations like this. Everyone understood? Ideally, we should have completed Jenkins yesterday only, because as you know, the time has taken here. Some plugins, Jenkins, it has taken some bit time for installation. Everyone understood? Clear on the Jenkins part? Any questions? Webhooks are different. Webhooks means, see, webhooks means like this. Webhooks will be different actually. So what webhooks will have is, this is my GitHub. Okay. Here, whenever the code is committed to GitHub, here we'll configure the webhook. Webhook means, webhook is a feature available in GitHub. I mean, so what webhook will trigger is, whenever the code is committed, here in webhook we'll configure the Jenkins URL, where the Jenkins is running. So whenever the code is committed here, and webhook will be listening on the new commits actually. So webhook will be listening on the new commits. Webhook will be listening on the new commits. And once it listens any new commit, whatever the Jenkins URL it is configured, it will invoke, it will push a notification to Jenkins. So what actually it will do is, so whenever a new commit happens, webhook will push notification to Jenkins. Push notification to Jenkins that a new commit has happened. Now Jenkins will connect to GitHub and pull the code. Okay, it will connect to GitHub and pull the code. It is opposite to polling. In polling, what will happen is, Jenkins at a specified interval for every 5 minutes or 30 minutes or 1 hour, whatever we specify in interval, it will connect to GitHub and pull the code. But here what will happen is, Jenkins will not continuously poll, will not continuously connect to GitHub. So your webhook will tell to Jenkins, will tell information to Jenkins that a new commit has happened. Now you commit the code. So the earlier example is pull notification. That is, Jenkins will connect to the GitHub for every specified interval and get the code. And webhook means whenever a new code has been committed, now GitHub will tell that a new commit has been made, you pull my code. So that is what is the difference. Any questions till now? Jenkins? Everyone clear? Everyone clear? Questions? Clear or not? Jenkins? Just tell me yes or no. Good. Very good. Yeah. Why I'm asking these many times is Jenkins is done. We have to go to the next topic. So next tool, okay. So this is next tool is Gradle. Okay, Gradle, Jira. So these two. So we have completed 10 tools till now. So next is Gradle and Jira. Yeah, I'll upload the notes. I'll upload. Okay. Kunal, I'll upload today. Today I'll upload all the notes. So when is your next class? Remember? When is your next class? Next class Thursday. Next class Thursday. So this Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Next class Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I'll be covering Gradle, and Jira. Both are two different subjects, but so Gradle, Jira. So all the 10 important tools are over. Actually, if you know these 10 important tools, you can do anything. But 10 important tools are over. But these are some additional tools. Gradle, Jira. These are the things. Okay, where if you know it is better actually. Okay. So, but the 10 important, very important tools are covered. Okay, till Jenkins. So next we'll see Gradle, Jira. Next, Datadog. Datadog is one very popular tool. I'll tell you that. So 10 important tools are covered till now. All right, then I will upload all the notes till now. I think I have to upload notes from JMeter. I will upload that notes and update you. Please show these tools used in your real-time projects. Actually, whenever I tell the tool, automatically I will be telling that the usage of the tool. So whenever that usage of the tool means that will be used in the real-time project only. For example, JUnit. So whenever we do the project, we write the unit test compulsory. Sonar Cube. Whenever we write the code, we have to test the code quality of the tool. Okay. JMeter. Whenever we write the code, after that we do the performance testing. How much time the application gives a response. Okay. Next is ELK for logging and monitoring. Okay. And then for all the centralized logging, SLF 4J is for logging, and ELK is for logging all the microservices data in one place. Okay. And then Jenkins for continuous integration. See, every use will be, you can link that to a real-time project. Every use of the tool is linked to linked as a part of the real-time project. If you see, in the real-time project, if you see, unit testing is compulsory. See, all these tools are post-development. I mean, supporting development. So once we develop the code in Spring Boot, or Java or any other programming language, the tools that I'm telling you are next unit testing. For example, generally we are going with Spring Boot Java examples on unit testing. So we use JUnit. I mean, for Java related, we use JUnit, Mock-it. Okay. Next. Then what next? Code quality. Sonar to test the code quality. If you see these tools, wherever we are using. Next, Maven compulsory. We have to build the project, right? So Maven. Next, code commit to code repository. GitHub, Git and GitHub, right? Git. Next, performance testing. Test the performance of the application. Or before this, we have to do continuous integration, right? Like automatic continuous integration, like automatic build, deploy. That's what we have seen using Jenkins. Just now we have seen that. Then, okay, now the jar can run in EC2 instance or Docker. Docker also we have seen. Okay, that is for Docker. Next, once the jar is run in EC2 instance of Docker, then performance testing. Okay, we'll use JMeter to test the performance of the application. Here, while implementing, before in the code itself, we do logging. So logging is compulsory. We use SLF4j, log4j, SLF4j interface and log4j to other libraries. And now suppose if you develop this in microservices, so logging for microservices, we use ELK, where all the logs that are put in SLF4j in each machine, you are centralizing that in one machine. That means ELK, what it does, suppose the services are running in 10 machines. In 10 machines, you will have 10 log files. So all the 10 log files will be pulled into one centralized logging. That is ELK. What next? See, if you see all this we covered. These are the important tools to run a project. All these we covered. Now, whatever we are going to cover, the next one, Gradle. Gradle is an alternative to Maven. If you know Maven, Gradle is not required. You can do the things with Maven also. If you know Gradle, Maven is not required. So either Maven you can use or Gradle you can use. If you know both, you can use either of them. So Gradle is an alternative to Maven, which we are going to cover next week. So, but whatever the things that we have covered till now, all are complete. After completing the development, after you develop the code, everything is coming now till you launch to production. All the tools we have seen till you launch to production. All right, then. See you on Thursday with Gradle. Thank you then. Okay. See you on Thursday.